Okay, so today we're diving deep into Augusta Precious Metals.
Hmm.
We've got this really interesting review and analysis in front of us. It's by Doug Young,
Okay.
and he's got like over 20 years experience in this whole world of financial investing, commodity trading, precious metals, you name it.
Wow. Yeah, he definitely knows his stuff then.
Yeah, and the thing is he actually picks Augusta as his top pick
Oh, really?
when it comes to gold IRA companies. So that's kind of what piqued our interest.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty strong endorsement, especially with all his experience.
Exactly. So we want to figure out what it is about Augusta that makes them so special.
Okay, so basically in his deep dive, we're going to go through this report,
Yeah.
really try to understand what Augusta Precious Metals is all about.
Right. Like, how do they actually work?
Exactly how they work their reputation, what kind of services they offer.
And most importantly for our listeners out there, does it actually make sense for, their own personal financial goals
Mhm.
and, their own situation?
Yeah, because everyone's different, right? So let's start with the basics. What is this company all about?
Yeah, so according to Doug Young's review, Augusta Precious Metals was founded back in 2012 by this guy, Isaac Nuriani.
Hmm.
And the main idea behind it was to help people who are thinking about retirement
Hmm.
to protect their savings using physical gold and silver.
Okay, within IRAs.
Yes, exactly, all within IRAs.
Gotcha. So they're not like a general financial company. They're specifically focused on precious metals and IRAs.
Yes, precisely. And that's what Doug Young highlights as one of their
I
strengths.
see. Makes sense. So they've really built up that expertise.
Yeah, and that shows in their knowledge and apparently their customer service, which is really important.
Oh, absolutely. And he mentions they also have some pretty good educational resources.
Yeah, they've got this unique thing, a one-on-one web conference with their director of education.
Oh, wow. One-on-one. That's pretty personalized.
Yeah, and this guy is Devlin Steele. He's a Harvard-trained economist.
Okay, so no lightweight, huh?
No, not at all. And get this, Steele actually approached Augusta himself.
Really? So he wasn't recruited or anything?
Nope, he wanted to be part of this.
That's really interesting. I mean, for someone with his credentials to seek them out says something, right?
Definitely, it really highlights their commitment to, providing solid information and guidance to their clients.
Yeah, makes you think they must be doing something right if they've got someone like that on board.
Exactly. So they're based in Casper, Wyoming,
Okay,
but they've also got an office in Beverly Hills, California.
interesting. So they're covering both coasts.
Yeah, and their main thing is gold and silver IRAs, and they also do cash purchases of physical metals.
Okay, so if you want to buy gold or silver straight up, they can help you with that too.
Exactly. So we've got the founder and CEO, Isaac Nuriani. He's got an economics degree from UCLA.
Okay.
And Doug Young really emphasizes Nuriani's commitment to transparency and ethical practices.
That's good to hear, especially in the financial world.
Yeah, he even mentions that Nuriani is a member of ICTA and ethics.net.
Oh, wow. So he's really walking the walk, huh?
Yeah. And then, of course, we have Devlin Steele, the Harvard economist.
Right, the one who saw the 2008 crisis coming?
Yep, that's him. And apparently he's managed over $2 billion in financial assets.
Wow, 2 billion. That's a serious track record.
It is. And, when you're dealing with something as important as your retirement savings,
Yeah.
you really want to know that the people in charge know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Experience and credentials matter a lot in this game.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the gold and silver itself, it's about the people guiding you.
Exactly. So let's talk about their reputation and ratings.
Okay, so that's always a big factor.
Huge. And Doug Young is really impressed with Augusta's track record here.
Like, what specifically stood out to him?
He says they've had 0 complaints filed with the Better Business Bureau
Wow, 0.
and the Business Consumer Alliance since they started back in 2012.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, any business is bound to have some unhappy customers at some point, right?
You'd think so, but according to Doug, young Augusta has a perfectly clean slate.
That's impressive. It really shows they must be doing something right in terms of customer satisfaction.
Yeah, and it's not just the lack of complaints. They've also got thousands of 5-star ratings from their customers.
Oh, wow. So people are actively praising them too.
Yeah, and they've got a whole bunch of awards and recognitions.
Like, what kind of awards are we talking about?
Well, Money Magazine named them the best overall gold IRA company
Okay.
for both 2023 and 2024.
Back-to-back wins. That's impressive.
Yeah, and Investopedia gave them the award for most transparent pricing in those same years.
Yeah. Okay. So they're being recognized for both their service and their clarity on pricing.
Exactly. And TrustLink has been giving them their Best of award for 6 years straight.
6 years. Wow, it's a really strong, consistent track record.
It is, and it's not just those awards. They've got high ratings on all the major consumer watch sites.
Okay, like which ones are we talking about?
So the BBB, they've got an A+ rating with 4.97 out of 5 stars based on over 100 reviews.
Wow, almost a perfect score.
Yeah, and the BCA gave them their highest rating, AAA.
Oh, okay.
And TrustLink, they've got a perfect 5-star average with almost 300 reviews.
Okay, so that's consistent with their award from TrustLink.
Exactly. And then you've got Trustpilot, 4.8 out of 5 stars, Consumer Affairs, 4.9, and even their Google My Business profile has 4.9 out of 5 stars from over 400 reviews.
Wow, so it's not just one or two sources saying good things about them. It's pretty much everyone across the board.
Yeah, and Doug Young really drives that point home with this comparison table in his report.
It's, oh, a comparison table? What does that show?
It shows Augusta with 0 complaints at both the BBB and BCA,
Right.
while their competitors all have varying numbers of complaints. Some have none, some have a few, some have a lot.
I see. So it really puts their spotless record in perspective.
Yeah, it really shows that they're not just good. They might actually be the best in terms of keeping their customers happy.
Okay, so their reputation is top-notch, but what about the actual services they offer?
Yeah, so as you might expect, their main thing is gold and silver IRAs. They handle traditional Roth and SEP IRA structures.
Gotcha. So they cover the main types of IRAs.
They do, and they also help people who want to buy gold and silver outright outside of an IRA.
Okay, so they've got options for both retirement accounts and just straight up purchasing metals.
Yeah, and they make it easy to roll over funds from existing retirement plans.
Oh, that's important because a lot of people have 401ks or other accounts they want to transfer over.
Exactly, and they offer lifetime account support.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal.
They help with everything interacting with the custodian, managing distributions,
Okay.
legacy planning, and even buybacks if you decide to sell your metals.
So they're with you every step of the way. That's great.
Yeah, and Doug Young points out that Augusta handles about 95% of the paperwork for setting up a gold IRA.
95%, that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, so you don't have to deal with all that hassle.
Makes it much easier for people who aren't familiar with the process.
Exactly. They also have an order desk that can give you info on all their different gold and silver options. They even have some unique coins from the Royal Canadian Mint.
Oh, cool. So they have some special stuff for collectors, too.
Yeah, and of course we can't forget about that free one-on-one web conference with their Harvard economist.
Right. Devlin Steele. That's a pretty valuable resource.
Definitely. So digging a little deeper into these gold and silver IRAs,
Okay.
they're self-directed IRA accounts, which means you can include physical gold and silver in them.
Right. So it's not just stocks and bonds.
Exactly. And the idea is that this can potentially protect your savings against market crashes, volatility, and inflation.
Okay. Because gold and silver tend to move differently than the stock market.
Yeah, they're often seen as a safe haven asset.
Makes sense. But of course, they're still investments, so their
Yeah.
value can go up and down.
Of course, but Doug Young points out that historically gold and silver have generally increased in value over time.
Right. Long term, they've done well.
Yeah, and the fact that you can roll over your existing retirement funds with potential tax advantages makes these IRAs pretty appealing.
Yeah, that's a big plus for a lot of people.
Now, it's important to note that these accounts follow the same IRS rules as any other IRA.
Okay. So there are some regulations.
Yeah, you can only include specific types of gold and silver that are IRA eligible.
So no collectible coins or anything like that.
Right, and you can actually have other investments in the same self-directed IRA, like stocks, bonds, real estate.
Oh, interesting. So you can diversify even within the IRA itself.
Exactly, but Augusta's main focus is obviously the precious metals side of things.
Right. That's their specialty.
The 2025 annual contribution limit is $7,000 if you're under 50 and $8,000 if you're over 50.
Okay. So same as traditional IRAs.
Yeah, and just like traditional IRAs, you have to start taking required minimum distributions when you turn 73.
Right. And there are penalties if you withdraw money early before age 59 and a half.
Exactly. Now, here's a key point with gold and silver IRAs.
Okay.
You need an IRS-approved custodian to manage the account.
Oh, right. So it's not like you just keep the gold at home.
Nope. And the metals have to be stored in an approved depository.
So there's a whole system in place.
Yeah, and Doug Young highlights that Augusta helps you navigate all of this, which is a big help, especially if you're new to this type of investing.
Yeah, it can be confusing for sure. So having that support is great.
So now let's talk about what makes Augusta really stand out.
Okay. What are their unique selling points?
Well, Doug Young starts with transparency and compliance.
Okay.
He says they're very upfront about their pricing, their fees, and their agreements.
That's good to hear. No hidden surprises.
Yeah, they've also got a strong compliance department, and they voluntarily go through independent audits.
Really? So they're going above and beyond the minimum requirements.
They are, and that really builds trust with investors.
It does. And their lack of complaints with the BBB and BCA also speaks volumes about their trustworthiness.
Absolutely. They also offer a welcome gift when you open a gold IRA.
Oh, welcome gift. What is it?
You get to choose from 3 different gold coins.
Wow, free gold. That's a nice perk.
They also have something called the highest buyback guarantee.
Okay, what does that mean?
Basically, it assures you that you can sell your investment back to them if you need to.
So you're not stuck with the metals if you need cash.
Exactly. It gives you peace of mind.
Does he say anything about the terms of the buyback guarantee?
Not specifically, but it's definitely something worth looking into.
Yeah, like are there any limits on what they'll buy back or at what price?
Right, and they also have a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Okay, so what if you're not happy with their service?
They make it easy to switch to another option.
That's good to know they're not trying to lock you in.
And they even offer a 7-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, wow. So you can get a full refund within the first week if you're not satisfied.
Exactly. So they're really putting their money where their mouth is with these guarantees.
They are. It shows they're confident in their service.
And they'll cover your custodian and storage fees for up to 10 years.
Oh, wow. That could save a lot of money.
Yeah, especially if you're making a significant investment.
Definitely. And of course, they have all those educational resources we talked about.
Yeah, that one-on-one web conference is a big plus.
And they provide ongoing account support throughout the life of your account.
Exactly. They're not just there for the initial setup.
That's great because things can come up years down the line.
And another key point is that they specialize exclusively in gold and silver IRAs and cash accounts.
Right. So they're not spreading themselves thin across a bunch of different financial products.
Nope, they're laser focused on precious metals.
Which means they should have deep expertise in that area.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the fees.
Yeah, so Augusta uses a flat fee structure.
Okay.
Doug Young says that's generally better than scaled fees over time.
Yeah, because with scaled fees, you end up paying more as your account grows.
Exactly, but with flat fees, your costs are predictable.
Makes sense. So what are the actual fees?
The setup fee is $50 plus a $30 wire fee.
Okay.
The annual administration fee is $80,
Mm-hmm.
and storage fees are either $150 a year for segregated storage or $100 for non-segregated.
Okay, so what's the difference between segregated and non-segregated?
Segregated means your metals are stored separately from everyone else's.
Okay, so you know exactly which bars and coins are yours.
Yeah, while non-segregated means your metals are pooled together with other investors' metals.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like the difference between having your own safety deposit box versus sharing one.
Yeah, it's a trade-off between security and cost.
Makes sense. And Augusta doesn't charge any management fees.
Nope, and Doug Young provides a table comparing their fees to other gold IRA companies.
Oh, so we can see how they stack up.
Yeah, and their fees are pretty competitive.
Okay, that's good to know.
And remember, they'll cover your custodian and storage fees for up to 10 years if you qualify.
Right, so that can really lower your overall costs in the long run.
Now, Doug Young includes a helpful FAQ section in his report.
Oh, okay, what kind of questions does he address?
Well, he confirms that Augusta's been in business since January 2012,
Okay.
and he addresses any concerns about their legitimacy by pointing to their awards, their ratings with the BBB and BCA,
Mm-hmm.
and their memberships in industry organizations.
Right, so they're definitely the real deal.
He also confirms that they offer traditional Roth and SEP gold IRAs.
Okay.
And that they have those guarantees. We talked about the 7-day money-back guarantee and the highest buyback guarantee.
Right, those are good to have.
He mentions they have a personal customer success agent available during business hours.
Oh, that's helpful for any questions or issues that come up.
And he confirms that new Gold IRA customers do get free gold as a welcome gift.
Okay, and what kind of gold is it?
They have options like the American Gold Eagle and the Canadian Majestic Polar Bear.
Oh, cool. Those are popular coins.
Yeah. He also mentions that it takes about 7 to 10 days for your precious metals to be delivered once you confirm your order.
Okay, so not too long of a wait.
The minimum investment for both IRA and cash purchases is $50,000.
$50,000, that's a significant chunk of change.
It is, but there's no maximum investment limit.
Okay, so if you're a high net worth individual, you're good to go.
Yeah, they offer a variety of gold and silver products, including bullion coins and bars,
Okay.
as well as premium coins.
Gotcha, so they have something for everyone.
And they might consider platinum and palladium if you ask them.
Oh, interesting. So they're not strictly limited to gold and silver.
Now, the metals you buy are stored in approved depositories,
Right.
and you could actually arrange to visit these facilities if you want.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, they have depositories in various locations across the U.S.
Okay. Like where?
New York, California, Ohio, Delaware, Utah.
Okay. So they're spread out.
Yeah, and the metals are insured while they're at the depository,
Good to know.
usually under a Lloyd's of London policy.
Okay. So you're covered if anything happens.
And just to be clear, you can't store your IRA metals at home.
Right. That's against IRS rules.
And as we mentioned, there are no management fees for their gold or silver IRAs.
Okay.
And they offer free shipping and transit insurance on all purchases.
So they're covering all the bases.
They also help you roll over your existing retirement plans into a gold IRA if you want.
Okay. That's a big help.
And they're very strict about following IRS rules on which precious metals are eligible for these accounts.
So you know everything's above board.
Exactly. So Doug Young sums up the pros and cons in his review.
Okay, let's hear what's on the plus side.
Well, he really likes their compliance, their awards, the fact that they have zero complaints, their high ratings, their buyback and satisfaction guarantees the free gold, offer the potential for zero fees for up to 10 years.
Okay.
The educational resources led by a Harvard economist, endorsements from well-known people, ongoing account, support free shipping and insurance.
Wow. That's a pretty long list of positives.
It is, but he does mention a couple of downsides.
Okay, what are the drawbacks?
The biggest one is the $50,000 minimum investment.
Right. That's a pretty high barrier to
It
entry.
is, and you can't add gold or silver you already own to an Augusta IRA.
Oh, that's interesting. Why not?
He doesn't really explain that, but it's something to be aware of.
Yeah, and they don't offer their services internationally beyond the U.S. and Canada.
Right, so if you're outside of North America, you're out of luck.
Okay, so who does Doug Young think Augusta is best suited for?
Well, he says they're a good fit for people who are new to precious metals investing
Okay.
because they provide a lot of education and guidance.
Right, hand-holding for beginners.
Yeah, but they're also good for experienced investors who want that high level of expertise.
So they can cater to both ends of the spectrum.
And he says they're a good option for people who are nervous about alternative investments.
Because of their transparency and compliance.
Exactly. And for anyone who's looking for competitive pricing and extra perks like fee coverage and educational resources.
So they're hitting a lot of the key points that investors care about.
They are, and Doug Young's final verdict is a 100% recommendation for Augusta Precious Metals.
Wow, he's really sold on them.
He recommends them for both gold IRAs and direct gold and silver purchases.
Based on all the factors we've discussed.
Exactly. Their ratings, reputation, customer service, pricing, transparency, customer satisfaction, a whole package.
Okay, so to sum it all up, what are the main benefits of a gold IRA with Augusta Precious Metals?
Well, you've got potential tax deferral,
Okay.
potential wealth protection against market turmoil, inflation, a weakening dollar, diversification of your retirement portfolio,
Okay.
more control over your investment choices,
Right.
the intrinsic value of physical assets,
Yeah.
easy setup and maintenance with Augusta's support,
Okay.
and excellent customer service as evidenced by their lack of complaints.
Right. They really seem to have that part down.
And he emphasizes that it's not too late to diversify your retirement savings even now.
Okay, so you can still get in on the action.
Exactly.
So if any of our listeners are interested,
Mm-hmm.
how can they get in touch with Augusta?
Well, the report gives their phone number. It's 855-386-4202.
Okay.
And there's a link to request their Gold IRA company's ethics checklist.
Interesting. And Doug Young really recommends that people take advantage of that free one-on-one web conference with their education department.
Yeah, that seems like a good first step to learn more.
It does.
So to wrap up our deep dive into this review, it's clear that Augusta Precious Metals is a standout in the gold and silver IRA market.
Yeah, they really seem to tick a lot of boxes.
They do. They've got a stellar reputation, they're transparent, they offer great education, and they're super customer-focused.
And while that $50,000 minimum investment is a hurdle for some,
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
the positive feedback and the unique benefits they provide are definitely worth considering.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there thinking about their financial future, what specific questions do you now have about diversifying your retirement savings with gold or silver?
Yeah, and what further research might you do to see if a gold IRA with a company like Augusta aligns with your long-term goals?
Because ultimately, it's all about making informed decisions that are right for you.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Augusta Precious Metals.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.